how much work moving is. It's so much work. You could just sleep for like a week. Hello and welcome to Math Monday number 4. Today I'm going to talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, shopping. I love shopping, but specifically the math of shopping. I have very expensive taste. I don't know about you guys. So I'm always on the lookout for sales and things like that. And I pretty much never bring out a calculator while I'm shopping and calculating sales and how much it'll be with tax and everything like that. And some people are really surprised to find that out. And I think people just don't know the little tips and tricks that I use. And so therefore they just think it's really difficult. Now, for those of you who are like, oh, but we just have like a calculator and it's on our phones and we can just use that. So what's the point in doing anything like this? I say to you, well, your phone has text to speech, so what's the point in reading anymore? Might as well give that up. And while we're at it, like, there's no point in writing anything down anymore because we could just type everything on our phones. So that might as well be a skill that's just like becomes obsolete. So no reading, no writing. The robots are gonna come for you first. All I'm trying to say is, sure, you can put it on a calculator, but your head can also do it too, and don't forget that. And sometimes it's good to make our heads do simple things like this because it keeps us developing those wrinkles in our brain that we need that help us be better and more critical thinkers. All right, so that's my opinion on it. Let's think, for example, about this sweater that I got on sale for 30% off at Anthropologie. Right, has this nice balloon sleeves, has a nice long neck that I can take off the shoulder if I want to. It was probably somewhere around $120. I don't exactly know if that was the original price, but it's probably somewhere around there. Those of you that shop at Anthropologie probably agree that that's a perfectly reasonable price for one of their sweaters. Most stores will market this as $119.99. because they want you to think that it's $119. This is a psychological trick that they use. It's not $119, it's $120, even though that sounds so much less in our mind. That $1 difference is pretty huge. So how would most of you figure this out? You'd find 30% of 120 probably on your calculator, and you subtract that from 120. Now, if I'm gonna do this in my head, there's actually a much easier way. What I want to do is I want to think of $120 as 100% of the original price, okay? Because it is. It's just what the original price is. So if it's 30% off, I'm going to take 30 away from 100 and I'm left with 70%. So what I'm left with is 70% of the original price. So that is my sale price. I can just find 70% of 120 and I have the sale price. Now, some of you who may not be good with percents are going, how? How do I find 70% of 120? Well, how I do it in my head is I find 10%, because 10 and 1% are so easy to find. You just move the decimal up once or twice. All right, so I find 10% of 120, and then I just multiply by 7, because 10 times 7 is, guess what, 70. And that's all I do in my head. Okay, so how do I find 10% of 120? I just move the decimal left one place because technically what I'm doing is I'm dividing by 10. Okay, so 120, the decimal is at the very end there. That's why we don't write it because we just don't need to, but it's still technically there. So we move it left once and what do we get? 12.0 or 12. Okay, that's 10%. 12 is 10% of 120. 1.2 would be 1% of 120. It's just how you move the decimal, which is really nice. So what do I need to do? I need to take 12, multiply that by 7. Again, some of you guys, you remember having to multiply 2-digit numbers by 7 or 8 or whatever in elementary school, and it was this weird way where you had to like carry the numbers and stuff like that. It's really not a nice intuitive way. So I'm going to teach you what's called the box method here. This is probably what a lot of you see your kids doing and going, I have no idea what that is. What are you talking about? And I actually like this method so much better than how we were taught when we were kids because it's way more intuitive and it actually lends itself to being able to eventually do mental math way better. Because what I want to do is I want to think of 12 as 10 and 2. Because that's what 12 is, 10 plus 2. But multiplying by 10s, multiplying by 2s is so much easier than multiplying by 12s. Okay, so I take 7 and I'm going to multiply by 10. I'm going to take 7 multiplied by 2, and then I just add everything in the boxes together. So 70 plus 14. And that gets me 12 plus 7, which is 84. So there you go. There's my sale price. So I know it's going to be about $84. Now, you have sales tax on top of that. So what are you going to do? If you're in a place where your sales tax is not a nice number, like 6 or 7%, then you want to go ahead and find 1%. And remember, you're finding 1% of the sale price now, because that's all you're getting taxed on. So 1% of $84 would be 84 cents, right? Or $0.84. And you take that, multiply it by 6 or 7 or something like that. So at that point, if you do have to get out your calculator, I really don't blame you. That's a little bit more finicky. If you're in a nice place like Alberta, we have a really great system here, you guys, and we have a 5% sales tax. How do you find 5%? You find 10% and you divide it by 2. So finding 10% of 84, that's just $8.40. Half of that is $4.20. So I just add $4.20 to 84. Okay, when I do that, I get, $4.20. I get $88.20. Okay, and that's how I figure stuff out when I'm at stores and I need to figure out how much something is. And really, sure, it took me a while to explain it here, but that's done in about 10 seconds in my brain. Okay, which pretty much is the same amount of time you take out your calculator on your phone and find the app and everything like that. Yet in this case, you're developing better wrinkles in your brain that's going to make you a better critical thinker. So I think we can figure out what is the better way. Anyways, you guys, I hope you have an awesome week. Next time you're shopping, I hope you use some of these tips and tricks. Always look for those sales, and let me know of any good sales that are going on too. Please and thank you.